Kashmira Sheth was born in India, and she lived there until she was a teenager when she moved to Iowa to attend college. She did not grow up speaking English. She spoke Hindi and Gujarati. Kashmira did not start writing books until her own children were elementary school aged. The first book she wrote was Blue Jasmine. Blue Jasmine is a story very similar to Kashmira's in that the main character, who is a 12-year-old girl, she's moving from India to America and reflecting on all the things she's going to miss about her home. This book won the ALA Great Middle School Reads Award, and she was selected for the new and notable book of Asian Week in 2005. So this book, even though it was her first, was already winning awards. Another book geared towards middle school age students is Boys Without Names, which has a male protagonist and examines the working conditions faced by people in the bigger cities in India. This book won a Junior Library Guild selection, the Chicago Public Library Best of the Best Reading List 2010, among other awards. No Dogs Allowed is a book for slightly younger readers about aged 6 to 9, and it is about a boy named Ishan who really wants a dog, and he's trying to prove to his mom that he can earn one. Kashmira also writes books for younger children, such as Sonia and the Wedding Game, Tiger in My Soup, My Dadima Wears a Sari, and Monsoon Afternoon. All of these books examine different parts of Indian culture in a way that younger readers could understand them, such as weddings, the animals in the area, what people wear, and the weather and how it affects their lifestyle. Monsoon Afternoon in particular has won several awards, such as the Asian Pacific American Award for Literature by the Asian Pacific American Libraries Association in 2009.
And the book that I'm focusing on for this is called Keeping Corner. It is a young adult novel. There's nothing too risque in there that it would be inappropriate for younger children, but there are some very complex ideas and language. There's a lot of the Hindi language. It's interpreted in the text, but it might be above the understanding of most children who don't already have some exposure to this culture, but it would be a great young adult novel. And this is just kind of a side note. I ordered this off a thrift books website, and it's actually a signed copy from the author, which I thought was super duper cool. It makes you feel more connected. This story, Keeping Corner, is based on Kashmira Sheth's great aunt, who was in India and went through the things in the book. It is fictionalized, but it's based on that true story. In this story, our main character is named Leela. She is 12 years old, and she has married at 9 her husband Ramanal, but here at age 12 they have not consummated their marriage. She doesn't live with him. That was coming up in the next year when she turned 13, but her husband has died and she is still considered a widow. And so, to set the scene of what I'm about to read, she has been keeping corner, hence the name of the book, and she has to do that for a year. She cannot leave her house. She has to wear certain garments. She can't wear any sort of jewelry or accessories. And she kind of started off a very vain 12-year-old, so it's been very hard on her. And one of the workers on her family's farm has married, and she's talking to the wife in this scene. So, she blew on her tea and took a small sip. Good tea. She flipped pages of the book with her left hand. Is this the story about Lord Rama and Sita? No. Then what's it about? Even though we don't read, our elders tell us stories about Lord Rama and Sita and about the fight between Rama and Ravana. We learn about Lord Krishna and how he stole butter and how he destroyed the evil king Kansa. We listened to so many stories that if you wrote them in the sky, they'd fill it up and there'd be no room left for the stars. There are other stories besides the ones you know. And then tell me a story from this book. This book doesn't have any stories. It's just writing. If it's not a story, what's there to tell? So I explained to Shawnee what I'd read that afternoon. It says here that, like men, women should have rights to education, and like widowed women should be allowed to marry again. Chi-chi, she said. How can people of high caste like you even think about it? If you married again, you'd be like us. I almost dropped my teacup. Do Rabari widows get married? Yes, I was married at 3. My parents gave me my anu when I was 14. My husband was always sick, and even though we lived together for 3 years, he was too weak to give me any children. After he died, Laka asked for my hand, and my bapuji wanted me to marry him, but I said no for 2 years. Once you've tied a knot with one man and gone around the sacred fire, it takes a while before you want to take another man. But you're married now. When Laka came last summer, he asked me again. He'd waited for a long time for me. It meant he had real feelings for me, so I said yes. Did you have feelings for him? I asked. Yes, she whispered. They were slow to come, but now he is everything to me. I couldn't believe that Shawnee was a widow like me. She was not born into a Brahmin family, and that was why she could marry again. If I were Shawnee's sister, I wouldn't be wearing a chidri and have a bald head. What good was it to belong to the highest caste if you had to suffer? The next thing I knew, Shawnee was saying, Leelaban. Leelaban? What? I was afraid you were lost. Lost where? In your thoughts. Our elders say that when that happens to someone, you have to bring them back. Tell me what you were thinking. I was thinking how you had a second chance to marry, but I'll always be a widow. It makes me sad. I'm sad for you too, she said, and held my hand. If you can remarry, why can't I? If Brahmin men can remarry, why can't Brahmin women? Why can't women be treated equal to men? How can they? Men are fire and women are water. Fire and water are equally dangerous, but without them we can't survive. And what stops fire? Water. Water stops fire. She listened, and with my every word, her eyes until they were as wide as lemon slices. Does this book tell you all these things? No, but it tells me one thing, and then my own thoughts lead to a second thing, and then on to a third thing. When you read books like these, they make you think. I can't read. I can only embroider. That's what I've been taught. But you do such beautiful work. Besides, the other day, you told me some of the designs were yours. Yes, she said, her eyes sparkling like the pieces of mirrors, obla, she had stitched on a piece of cloth. I wish I could embroider obla and draw like you. I'll teach you if you want. I'll teach you how to read and write, I said. We started our lessons right away. But this book overall is very empowering towards women. By the end of the book, without giving away too much, she is aware that she is capable of doing anything, even though society has put all these constraints on Leela. She realizes that she has a whole lot of power and potential within her, and she takes steps to fulfill that potential.
As previously stated, Kashmira's books are very empowering, particularly towards women, but towards children also. And that is why they would be a great contribution to any library or classroom library. The ideas are complex enough that they could be used in a school curriculum effectively as a way to integrate diverse literature into those standards that are being taught.